We got a Van Gogh here. What do you think of that? Check this out. This is pretty cool. Thank you very much to one of our subscribers, John, who we ran into at a local electronics store here in Madeira. He put us on to this frame TV by Samsung for our new place. It was perfect. It's low profile, minimal, and we can do fun things like this.
And it actually is a TV too, which is really good. So here we go. Welcome back to Track Us Down. If you're just finding us, I'm Monique.
And I'm Doug. Our channel is all about retiring early, moving abroad, but mostly living a better second half of life. So welcome to 2025.
First quarter of the century. Incredible, isn't it?
It is 25 years since Y2K.
And if you don't know about us, both of us were professionals. We retired early at the age of 50. We sold everything and we moved abroad. And we live here. We make our base here on the beautiful island of Madeira, Portugal.
So we are here, we are moved into our new place. As you can see, it's a different setup altogether. We absolutely love it here. We're not quite ready for a house tour yet. We still have some work to do. We put up a nice slat wall here. We have our TV up finally. We're still waiting for our TV stand. Just a few more pieces that we want to pull together before we're ready for any kind of tour, but we're loving it here. And so this is just kind of a teaser, I guess you can say. This is how we're starting our 2025 here on Madeira, moving abroad, living a better second half of life, and we've just kind of elevated ourselves just a little bit more.
So we wanted to kick off the year talking about longevity, because longevity is a huge part of the second half of life. And as we get to know so many more of our subscribers and get to know you, we are all thinking about the same things. We're thinking about living a long, healthy lifestyle and having quality of life. We've gotten to know so many of you, and all of our conversations do focus around having a better second half of life. And what does that mean for us? And what could that mean, or does that mean for you? And we want to talk about longevity, because longevity is a huge part of what we all want in our second half of life. We want health, we want wellness, we want fitness, and we want to live a long life.
But of course, we have to remember longevity isn't just about living longer, it's about living better. So do whatever you have to do to live that better second half of life, which of course is going to include eating better, exercising, and stepping outside your comfort zone and trying new things.
We recently saw an IG post that really resonated with us. It was by Dr. Mindy, and she was talking about the way to age. If you want to get older faster, then stay in a very comfortable place. Don't do anything out of the ordinary. But if you want longevity, if you want to try and live to 100, put yourself in uncomfortable situations.
I'm kind of in an uncomfortable situation here now.
Well, then you're doing good.
So today we're going to watch that short with you, and we're going to react to that as we navigate our way to a elevated health, fitness, longevity, and lifestyle in general here on the beautiful island of Madeira in our second half of life. So let's watch this.
Want to age fast, hang out with the same people, eat the same food, watch the same news channel, drive in the same pattern, and make your life easy. Just keep doing the same thing you've done for 60 years. You're going to find you're going to age quicker. The best thing we can do when we get into our 50s and 60s is new. This is why I went to Turkey. I'm like, plop me in a foreign country that is got many different rituals. I mean, prayers are going off 5 times a day over the loudspeaker. The food is different. The language is different. It wasn't always easy every day. I didn't always get the food I wanted. I wasn't always fasting. But in that hard, my body had to adapt and become stronger. What if we sit down and have a humane conversation with somebody who thinks politically different than us, who completely sees where this country should go in a different way? You know what would happen to both of those individuals is neuroplasticity. You would be forced to have to grow new neurons in that conversation. But what we're doing is, you don't believe what I think? Boo, I don't want to hear you. Cancel culture. I want to hang out with my people. That is the worst thing we can do. You want to be a pro-ager, start putting yourself in little environments that are uncomfortable, whether it's fasting or food or travel. And if they're uncomfortable, you have a better chance of going to 100.
Wow, a lot of great points in there. What do you think about that?
I hear that and I can listen to that over and over. I love the way Dr. Mindy calls it being a pro-ager. I really like that idea. It's like something you take control of. She gives some really good tips on longevity and how to age well instead of just getting old.
It's nice hearing some information from somebody outside the box like that who kind of thinks the same way you do and the kind of way we're trying to live our life as well. Just taking some information from some professionals, from health professionals, professionals and just people who are motivated to live a different way, a better way in their second half of life, or just through their entire life as it is, putting themselves in a situation where they might feel just a little bit uncomfortable, but they learn new things, whether it's trying new food, whether it's traveling, or just meeting different people than you're used to hanging around with. Great advice.
On our channel and in this community, we like to talk about a better second half of life, and everything that she's really talking about, it helps a better second half of life. So today we want to share with you some of those ideas that she talked about and how we're implementing them in our life here, how you can do the same, and maybe a move abroad is in your future. So let's start with some of the things that we're doing.
So one of the biggest things that I think that we've done in our goal to pursue a life of longevity has been our move abroad here. 3.5 years ago, we left North America. We moved abroad. We started our second half of life here in Portugal, here on the beautiful island of Madeira. And it was a huge step for us. We had to leave all our familiar routines behind, our familiar environment behind, everything from the way we're used to eating and just going about our daily life. We're taking a big step into the great unknown here.
And when you think of it like that, what she's saying there is that move abroad actually is making our life longer because it was so uncomfortable, because it is so different than what we had done for the first 50 years. Everything is new. And she talks about neuroplasticity and developing new pathways in your brain. That's what we did when we moved abroad. We really expanded our world. That is something that you can do in your second half of life. It is possible to move abroad. And that moving abroad also opens up a whole world of travel.
Sometimes the hardest step to doing anything is just that first step, whether you just start looking into it, but as you go along, you're going to have to take more and more bold steps. It will pay off. It sure has for us and for so many people that we've met here. Everybody that we've met here, I think, feels the exact same way.
And if you've been following our channel, we've had so many opportunities to travel to different countries from here, whether that's Morocco or Slovenia or Switzerland or Europe in general and all over Portugal. And we are doing all those things she talked about when we're traveling. We're putting ourselves in uncomfortable situations. You have to figure things out. Things aren't always as you're used to. And that turns out that it's very good for longevity. So moving abroad and traveling is absolutely one thing that we are doing for our longevity.
It has been so rewarding.
The next thing that we've been doing for longevity kind of goes hand in hand with that is making new connections. She talked about that. If you're always talking to the same people and it's sort of an echo chamber, you all think the same thing and you all agree with each other, you're kind of just stuck and you're not really developing anymore. And for us, since being here in Madeira, we have connected with so many people, so many different people, people that in real life we would never cross paths. But here we have time to sit and talk and get to know people, get to know different ideas, different opinions, different life experiences. And I would say that that makes it not only enjoyable, but really good for longevity.
Definitely, because we're learning new ideas and it's not just the same age group, the same demographic, the same kind of workplace of people that you're used to dealing with. We're talking to people who are much older than us and we're talking to people who are much younger than us. We're talking to people who come from so many different technological and work-related backgrounds. We're learning so much that it just makes your mind work all the time. And we have great discussions afterwards because we're meeting all these people who have done so many different things than us. And it just really enriches your life when you can have those kind of conversations and just expand your horizons.
You made a good point too, that we have friends now who are significantly older than us, but also who are significantly younger than us. And back in North America, we kind of just hung out with people who are our age.
And of course, for longevity and living a life abroad, there are new challenges. And the new challenges are the really important things that keep you going and keep you interested rather than the day-to-day ho-hum of life that you might be used to. For us, it's things like learning a new language, the Portuguese language. We jumped in finally this year back in September. Can you believe it's been half a school year already that we've been doing the Portuguese language? Our goal is this year, in the summer, when we're done our classes, to do a whole video in Portuguese.
Oh, you should not say that.
That's pretty brave.
We'll
see.
bold.
We'll have subtitles underneath because you're not probably going to understand. Another big thing for us has been fitness level elevation. I've always been fairly fit just with my job, working out, running, and all those sorts of things. And I like doing the different things from hiking and swimming, all that kind of stuff. But here I'm being challenged to do bigger things, whether it's CrossFit or longer running distances or more open water swimming. Those are the things that you naturally gravitate to here and to elevate your fitness level because there's so many people out doing it. They're a lot older than me and they're younger than me. And I'm finding that I'm equally motivated by both, which is pretty neat.
And the new challenges that Doug's talking about in terms of fitness. Everybody's sort of at their own beginning spot. So that's where Doug started. I started at a different level, but I've certainly taken on the swimming, and I've even started running with a goal to maybe join my family when they do the city run in December. That is also adding to our longevity. Having goals, having fitness goals, having health goals, and just taking time to work on ourselves is really important in the second half of life.
So our buzzword for ourselves here in 2025, in our second half of life, having moved abroad, is elevate. That word means so much to us, whether it means our health, our fitness level, just our lifestyle in general, the things that we want to do. We made this move at the end of 2024, set ourselves up for 2025 down here in Funchal. We are now living in an area that is so walkable. It has so many flat places, access to the beach for biking, for running, for walking. It's part of a vibrant daytime lifestyle. It's part of a vibrant nighttime lifestyle. There's restaurants everywhere. We walk so much more. I want to talk later about the number of steps that I've been getting since I moved down here, and I like to count my steps.
I think that it's important to talk about what Doug mentioned earlier, is that we picked a word for the year, and our word was elevate. As we talked about it more, elevate was really our word for us both in terms of lifestyle, fitness, where we want our family and us to be. And it sort of just gives us a little direction. So choosing a word of the year might be something you're interested in doing and kind of gives you a little bit of focus. And the walkability down here that Doug's talking about, it's for real, because I'm also getting tons of steps. How many steps do you think you're getting?
Well, on average, where we were before, because we lived in an area where we had to drive mostly, even though we were going to the gym every day and I would still run all the time, I was still struggling to hit 10,000 steps. I would have to walk around the house a lot of times in the evening just to hit that 10,000 mark. Since we moved down here, without even thinking about it, I am averaging easily about 13, 14, 15,000 steps a day. So just moving down here and the walkability has made such a difference, and I think will elevate our health and our fitness level, and thereby our
longevity. So we like to be pro-agers. We like to think about these things and make plans for ourselves. And part of the move was part of that plan about having a space where we can walk to get groceries, where we can walk to meet friends, we can walk to restaurants, or just simply go for a walk super easily. How important that is for our second half of life. One of the books that we read last year was called Atomic Habits. And in that book, he talks a lot about making the good choices easy and making the bad choices hard. And by moving down here, I would say that we've made the good choice of being able to walk easier for us because it's so available and accessible. Then when we had to drive all the time, you could make the argument that you could drive somewhere and go for a walk, but that's a lot harder. So don't you think that that we now have the ease to make that right choice?
Absolutely. Now we're walking 2 to 3 times a week just down to the grocery store, which is fairly close, but it's a nice little walk. The choice is there, whether we're going to the mall or any little shop, we're walking more. And so the choice is made for us.
And carrying things and walking, that's part of longevity too, right? Is carrying different weights and that kind of thing.
So we love the place that we lived in for the last 2.5 years here in Funchal. But as we said before, we were beginning to feel that we were a prisoner of the view. Beautiful to look at. We were always looking at it, but we weren't living it. And now we've made this move. We've elevated our fitness. We've elevated our lifestyle, and we are actually in it. And it was the perfect move for us to elevate our future and what we're hoping to accomplish here as we age.
And we are calling this our 2.0.
So maybe you found this and you're watching our channel because you're looking for your own better second half of life as well, whatever that means for you, whether you're looking to move abroad or just restart, refresh where you are now. We want to hear from you. What are your plans for 2025 and going forward? What's one thing that you can start right now or you have started right now as you pursue a healthier you in your second half of life for health, fitness, and longevity? We'd love to hear from you in the comments down below. So that's how we're starting our 2025. We're elevating our lifestyle here.
And if you like a good conversation about retiring early, moving abroad, and all in all living a better second half of life, don't forget to hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe to our channel so you don't miss any upcoming videos. We really appreciate your support.
So before we go, we want to set it back to something fancy. What would you pick?
Let's go for the Lady of Shalott.
Oh, that's so dark and
Fancy.
intriguing. Okay, let's see.
Very
here.
Camelot.
3, 2, 1. Wow. And now we have
The Lady.
art.
Art.
We just elevated our living room. It's a work in progress. One day we're going to show you.
Take care, guys. Thank you for spending some of your time with us today. And as always, check back in and
Track us down.